Christmas Eve, 1945. In the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family home burst into flames just past midnight. But this was no ordinary house fire, because by dawn, 5 of the Sodder children had vanished, leaving no bodies, no clues, and no explanation. What happened that night has puzzled America for over 75 years. George and Jenny Sodder were proud Italian immigrants raising 10 children. They were respected, hardworking, and deeply family-oriented. On that cold December night, the children had been excited, hanging stockings and exchanging laughter as they drifted off to sleep. But hours later, their world would be engulfed in chaos. At 1 a.m., Jenny was jolted awake by the sound of something crashing onto the roof, followed by smoke seeping through the walls. She screamed for George, and together they raced to wake the family. 4 of their children escaped with them, but 5, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny Jr., and Betty, were gone. George tried everything to reach them. He smashed a window, shredding his arms in the process. He ran outside to grab his ladder, but it was missing. He attempted to start his truck to drive for help, but both of his vehicles had been mysteriously disabled. The water barrel, frozen solid. All while the fire department just a few miles away didn't arrive for 7 hours. By morning, the house had collapsed into a pile of smoldering ash. Investigators declared that the 5 children had perished in the flames, but something didn't add up. No human remains were ever found. Not a single bone. Jenny, unable to accept that her children had simply vanished into thin air, conducted a private experiment, burning animal bones in a furnace. Even after intense heat, the bones remained. So why wasn't there a trace of her children? And that wasn't the only oddity. The house had recently been rewired, yet authorities blamed the fire on faulty wiring. George knew that wasn't possible. The lights had stayed on as the house burned. And then there was the strange object Jenny found in the yard. Round, metal, with a strange odor. A military expert later claimed that it resembled a Molotov cocktail or napalm grenade. As rumors spread, so did chilling eyewitness accounts. One woman said she saw the children peering from a passing car during the fire. Another claimed she served them breakfast at a roadside inn the next morning, accompanied by adults who refused to speak. A third reported seeing them at a Charleston hotel weeks later, guarded, silent, and afraid. In 1949, a private excavation of the site unearthed no human remains, but it did deepen suspicion that the fire was staged. Theories began to spiral. Was it a kidnapping? A revenge plot? George was outspoken against Mussolini. Could this have been a politically motivated act? Then, in 1968, a letter arrived in the mail, postmarked Kentucky. Inside was a photo of a man in his 20s. On the back was scrawled a cryptic note. Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. I lil boys, A90132 or 35. George and Jenny were stunned. The man in the photo bore a striking resemblance to their missing son. Was it Louis? They hired another private investigator and sent him to Kentucky. But he vanished and was never heard from again. The Sodders were heartbroken, but relentless. They erected a massive billboard along Route 16 with pictures of the missing children, pleading for answers. It stood there for over 40 years, a towering symbol of grief, hope, and unanswered questions. To this day, the case remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. No bodies, no verified sightings, no closure. Just a trail of strange clues, theories, and a family that never stopped searching. So we ask again, what really happened to the Sodder children that night? And how can 5 souls vanish without a trace?